Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. Our guest of today is Mike, and he's a Vice President of Business Development and Administration at Availent Systems. Yeah, Mike, why don't you tell a little bit more about yourself and all the amazing stuff the company is doing?
Happy to, Joey. Thanks for having me today. Availent Systems is an alliance partner for NetSuite. Our mission is to bring the world's best business management system to our clients, and that starts with NetSuite, but then also integrating to their business applications that they may have to provide an overall holistic view of their data, business process automation, and our goal is to enhance our clients, allow them to scale.
Very nice. And how long are you guys in the market for?
We started the business. My partner started it in 2012. So we've been implementing NetSuite and enhancing NetSuite for over 13 years now. Really seeing some recent growth in the business, especially happening since we're focusing on several verticals and trying to bring really unique solutions to the areas that the verticals we're working in.
Very nice. And just a brief explanation for the founders who were watching the podcast. Could you briefly explain what NetSuite is and what it exactly does?
I'd be happy to. So businesses run on business processes. They need to process business from getting a prospect to invoicing and collecting cash. All businesses do this. NetSuite is a system that is an end-to-end, what they call an ERP, an enterprise resource planning system. It allows businesses from end to end to manage the business and the data and the processes seamlessly from function, department, all the way through. Everything's connected. It allows a business to really streamline and optimize the businesses. And NetSuite it's the fastest growing, largest cloud-based ERP system for small and medium-sized businesses.
Very nice. And towards all the companies which are out there, which type of company benefits the most what you guys are doing?
Yeah. Businesses that find themselves where their systems are becoming a blocker to scale. A lot of businesses find that they're very good about going and scaling the business, but at some point they're focusing more on how do I process the data and the transactions and less time available to go out and scale my businesses. So at that point, businesses need to find a more efficient way to manage their business processes. And that's a great time for someone to look at Oracle NetSuite, because we can come in and essentially optimize, overhaul how they're doing things so that it runs smoothly, so they can do what they do best, and that's go out and serve their client.
Very nice. And do you see, so you're saying when a business is growing at a certain point, the systems they are having in place, it starts to block them from really going to the next level. And then my question to you is usually in your experience, which type of businesses usually struggle with this problem? That have the system in place, they're not really able to scale, and boom, then you guys step in. Which type of company, which type of business?
Yeah, I mean, really, NetSuite is suitable for many, many different market verticals. I don't really know of any vertical that is not suitable. It's not specialized for a vertical. There are some systems out there that might specialize on medical processing or strictly on manufacturing. NetSuite is applicable across many different verticals. In fact, Availent Systems works in several of those verticals ourselves, but there are other partners out there that work on supply chain and manufacturing or online retail. NetSuite is one of those really broad application type ERP systems that people can deploy.
Very nice. Towards your experience, you're being part of Availent Systems. What are some of the challenges you have faced towards growing the business, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Wow. There are so many, Joey, but several that come to mind. We have grown an average over the last 5 years, an average of 75% per year. And some people may be thinking, well, things are just going fantastic. And they are. I mean, we're very blessed for our ability to go out. But what has happened with us is that we use NetSuite to run our business. We use more and more of the NetSuite functionality to go from a small entrepreneurial company to one that is now reliant on business processes. Okay. So we're seeing a lot of the same things in our own business that we actually bring to the market. So for instance, I've heard it a lot from carpenters and plumbers out there. They bring great solutions, except whenever they get home. When they're home, they don't have time to work on their home. That's what we've had to do. We've deployed NetSuite in our own business to optimize our processes, to put in process control, to build structure in our leadership team. I've heard it said that the quickest thing that a growing business runs out of is leadership, and that's the ceiling they hit. So we've really had to, as we go from a small entrepreneurial to a thriving 25-person team. Yeah, that's where we've had to look inward and address some of those challenges.
Very nice. And I think part of starting a business and growing a business, part of being an entrepreneur, it sounds as cliche as it sounds, right? Like you kind of have to have this growth mindset, because every day as an entrepreneur, like you have such like big responsibility, like every day you're gonna get challenges, right? Like what are you guys' vision of why you're doing this, right? When things get hard, you're like, this is why we're actually like applying the service to this company. This is why it's important for us. What's your vision behind it?
The vision. Well, the company started with a vision to allow our clients to address these challenges in a way that gives them peace. Okay. That may sound cliche, but it's not. It's not. I mean, when companies are growing their business, it's hard to grow a business. I know, because we're trying to grow ours, but it's hard. And these are human beings. Okay. It's like you and me, Joey. I mean, people are out there, they got their flesh and blood. They have children, they have families, they have lives. When you grow a business, you can sometimes get to the point where you feel imprisoned or trapped. Okay. And that's not good. I mean, we have a passion for serving those kind of people. So we want to be able to help them address their challenges so that they can get their business to where it is running smoothly. And maybe they can step away and go experience the things that they can experience and what they planned to when they wanted to grow the business. Because you want to grow a business so you can obviously bless other people, but also so you can have a certain lifestyle. And when you're trapped in fighting fires, that can't happen. So our vision is to really, really go in and listen to them. What are the things that are stopping you from doing that? Why? What are the unique points about our client's business that keep them at the office late or on the weekends? And we can help address that. That's really our mission in this company.
Yeah, I love how you're saying that. So it's not just about just stepping in and offering a service, but it goes way deeper than that, right? Especially if you're a founder. It's a huge part of your life. So when you actually solve this issue, you're just solving a problem. You just make someone feel better. You make someone feel more at ease, right? That's what you guys are doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And what are the ways how you guys are acquiring new customers?
Yeah, there is so much need out there in today's world, in the digital world, for this. So we have found we're not a reseller. We don't resell Oracle NetSuite. We implement and we customize. So we're very technical. We have teams that go, we need to really identify when clients are really looking to make that change. That's where we want to come in. Through our industry verticals in which we operate, we have made partnerships. For any industry vertical that uses NetSuite has all these other systems that need to operate the business. I mean, NetSuite's not going to operate an airline, or it's not going to operate a HVAC company. There's specific systems in these verticals that they use to operate. NetSuite processes information, does the financial reporting. So we have chosen to really partner with those industry applications and integrate that data into NetSuite. That's one of our real focus areas. Allow a company to take all of their tech stack and systems and bring it together to one unified system. So if we can partner with these operators and these applications that are in these verticals, they know when their clients, or they know whenever their clients are ready to implement NetSuite, they bring us the solutions. We can partner with them to jointly bring a solution that addresses their entire tech stack. That's a big area of inbound opportunity for us.
Very nice. And when a potential like client comes to you, you kind of know they're in the right spot because your partner kind of refer them to you.
And another one, Joey, I might add, being a NetSuite partner, we get a lot of opportunity through NetSuite. NetSuite really relies on their partners to deliver the NetSuite, they call it sweetness. I mean, to bring this NetSuite experience. And so they rely on partners like us. So we're really trying to build our presence in the NetSuite ecosystem, and they're great about that.
Very nice. And then going back at your experience, at Availent System, right? And your experience of growing the company. If you look back at all the lessons and challenges you've had among the years, what's one thing you would do differently if you would go back in time with the knowledge you're having right now?
I think the one thing that I would have done differently would be to focus and not try to be everything to everybody. When you're starting a business, there's a real, I think, urge to you're just trying to get that next order and you're trying to be everything to everybody. And what you find is that then you don't create an identity. You don't create a unique value proposition. So I think if I could have gone back and we would have started this journey, it was like, hey, where does our unique skill set lie and where can we go apply it and systematically go and start building that? Because we found ourselves a year or two in where we were competing with everybody, but essentially we weren't that great at it.
Yeah.
Until we found, hey, there's an opportunity over here in this area of business, in this industry vertical, or we have some capability here. If we could have started with that knowledge and really focused on developing our business value proposition for those two industries, I think we would have been much further along. Thankfully, we realized that. And I think this is a good lesson for any company building a business is sometimes it's better to look smaller and be the best, and then that'll allow you to grow.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, and it's kind of contradictory, right? Because when we might start, we think like we want to help as much companies or as much people as possible. So you think like, if I want to help as much people as possible, I'm going to be really broad. But same time, if you're really broad, like people are not going to really identify with you as the solution for their specific problem. In order to actually help as many people as possible, you need to be as niche as possible so people really identify with what you're doing. That's what you're saying.
I mean, it really is hard to grasp that, but you're exactly right.
Yeah, I completely get it. And let's say if you had a magic wand, let's say this pen is a magic wand, and with this magic wand, you could solve any problem at the business right now in just like 2 seconds. What kind of problem would you solve with this magic wand?
Well, it seems like the magic wand out there that I want to solve is actually starting a company. It would be so somebody could just speak into it to install a business application system and connect everything and solve it without having to go through a massive customization. So they could say, here's my business. Here's what we do in our business. And I want my business system to do X, Y, and Z and produce these reports so I can have visibility. And if they just speak it, it happens. But unfortunately, we're not there. We might be, AI is addressing some of that, right? But yet it still requires a large investment in coding, right? For coders or to integrate systems, it still requires that investment. But my desire would be that people can just have systems that immediately work for them and can take their desires and their objective for their business and they know what they need to see. They know what metrics matter to their business. They know what business processes matter to their ability to reduce cost and go out and find new clients. Just shrink that down and give them the ability to, in their language, speak it and make it happen.
Yeah, very nice. And then maybe tying back on what you're saying right now, what are some of the goals you guys are having with Availent System, let's say, for the next 6 to 12 months from now, as we speak today together in the podcast right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. We are having this exact discussion now, and we are honing in on really two key initiatives for our business. One is to build AI functionality into everything we're doing. You hear AI everywhere. People are talking about AI this and AI that. And in our minds, everybody's thinking, well, what is it and how can it help me? Well, we've started down that journey because we want to find clarity among the chaos of AI, both for ourselves and how we do business and then for our clients. So we're building in this capability into how NetSuite gets implemented, how they can then use NetSuite to visualize metrics, how they can use AI to automate business processes. And once you get into it, once you get past that fear point of AI and you start looking at it, it's unbelievably productive and enlightening. Now, we'll see where it goes, but I just see AI transforming. Our initiative is to do that for our clients. And then the second one is really to transform how our services get monetized from a fixed bid to a big cash outlay for our services to more of hey, we want to do system integration as a service. We want to have our clients be predictable on their cash outflow to us. All the while seeing value, we need to provide our value, but we want them to see us as a partner where we're saying, yeah, we will do these things for you. Let's agree on what you need and you bring us in as a partner and let's develop a long-term relationship so that we're not asking you for some big customization payment up front. We're going to handle your needs, but we're going to be an ongoing partner for you. So we're transforming both the tools we're using and then how our clients can consume our services.
It's very nice. And then talking about what you're mentioning with AI, you guys really want to implement AI, and also like there's a lot of, you want to be like the, how do you say that? The peace in the chaos. And especially nowadays with AI, there's just so much stuff going on. Every week there's something new going on. And a lot of companies, I think, are struggling to kind of keep up, because if you don't use it, like maybe your competitor will, but if you do use it, like how do you know which tools fits best for you? In the midst of all the chaos, where do you see AI going in the next, let's say, 2 to 3 years? And it's a difficult question, so we don't have to know it exactly, but what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, the biggest risk with AI is doing nothing for a company. That's the biggest risk. Whatever your business you're in, whatever you do, a business owner, an entrepreneur needs to think, what are the things that are the biggest blockers to scale? There's everything. For us, there's a blocker to scale simply because we have to manually write a contract and then email it over, and maybe a client has to scan it and sign it and send it back or whatever. Everybody needs to identify those things that are their blockers to scale because they're taking up time. AI is going to, and it already is actually, it is identifying and automating everything that happens. So for instance, part of a NetSuite implementation or any system implementation is data migration. Okay. You got to get your data from an old system and into your new system. You can't just start new. You got to know where your history is. AI is transforming how that data gets migrated from one system to another. And it's shrinking down that operation. So we're employing tools that are allowing us to do that in a way that is more accurate, that is a lot more efficient, that can give our clients a lot more visibility now on their old data, because we can move a big chunk of data from their old system when they implement NetSuite and have 2, 3, 4 years of detailed transaction, where before they couldn't have that. So that's one area that we're utilizing tools, and we're actually partnering with people. That's the other thing. In the world of AI, you have to be willing to partner with people, because there are people out there that are doing things that you can apply. You can't do it all yourself. So my suggestion would be for people immediately, find somebody that is in this space, buy them a cup of coffee, and start talking to them about your business, and you will start to get you'll get recommendations and tidbits that you can apply. You just got to take that.
Very nice. And then talking about, for the founders who are watching this podcast right now, right, with all the lessons and knowledge you've learned, if you just could give them one thing they can start implementing straight away after the podcast, with all the knowledge and wisdom you've learned among your career, like what would you give to them? One piece of advice.
I think it would be, time is a gift. You can blink and wake up 10 years are gone. It's easy. You can get consumed with the day-to-day, and life has challenges. We all have challenges. You can get consumed. I would say one thing that I would recommend, and this is me looking back 30 years to me, find a way to move out of that quadrant of urgent and non-important, the things that are in the urgent and non-important. And those things aren't going to go away, but find a way to get into the not urgent and important. These are the strategic things. And visualize what you want your life to be, your relationships to be, your business to be. You got to visualize that and take time to do it. You can't just do it on a schedule. You got to take time. You got to find a place, and you got to hone that skill to take time to visualize what you want it to be. You know, somebody taught me a long time ago, and they said, look, you should early in life picture what you want people to say at your retirement party. What do you want them to say about you? What would warm your heart when they're saying X, Y, and Z? Think about it. And then put things in place in your life that are going to drive toward that end. And that is so important. And you have to find a way to do that. We all want to do things. And then I guess the other thing is find someone to help. That is the payment for finding someone to help, and the payback is immense, and it's almost immeasurable. You just never know how that's going to come back in payoff.
You're amazing. I love how you're saying it. Planning your life backwards, right? Like knowing where you're going. And from this point, you have this vision and then you just follow the vision, right? Because if where you're going, your mindset is already like resonated with where you want to go, and steps become like automatically because you resonate towards where you want to be.
Yeah, the mind is so powerful. When you can create that vision subconsciously, it's going to help create that.
Very nice. And what are some of the ways people who are watching this podcast right now, how they can connect with you, Mike, or the company itself?
Sure. I'd love to talk to people. That's one of the things that I love in this job, is getting to meet people and just learning about them. You can contact us at availentsystems.com. There's a contact page. You can find me on LinkedIn, Mike Verkamp, Availent Systems. You can find me, reach out. I have a passion for meeting people and hearing ideas and just talking about ways that we can help each other.
Yes, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike, for being on the podcast, for sharing all your value, your lessons. Everyone who's watching, I'm going to make sure to put all the links of Mike and Availent System down in the description below, so you can really easily find it. And thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you in the next episode.